Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Wednesday, April 24th, 2013. This is Texan TV News from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas, and I am Kate Murphy. In today's headlines, Janet Napolitano, Homeland Security Secretary, is asking for immigration reform. Charges against the Mississippi man suspected of mailing the poison ricin to President Obama and others have been dropped. A home of second man was searched on Tuesday. Dozens died in Bangladesh after a building caved in. A man from Michigan, Neil Sautner, is raising money for cerebral palsy research by walking hundreds of miles across his state on stilts. Texas legislation proposes bill to help assist victims of sexual assault. Tarleton campus in full swing for Diversity Week. Glen Rose Project graduation hosts annual silent auction and dinner. The Erath County Sheriff's Department gears up for the Larry Joe Taylor Festival. Miami Heat nears first round playoff victory, as well as today's weather. Now for today's national and international news from the Associated Press News Minute.
This is AP News Minute. Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano is calling for immigration reform. She says reform would help improve security because the government would know who's in the country. Charges against the Mississippi man accused of mailing the poison ricin to President Obama and others have been dropped. The home of a second man was searched Tuesday. Dozens of people are dead in Bangladesh after a building caved in. Rescuers say hundreds got out alive. And a Michigan man is walking hundreds of miles across his state on stilts. Neil Sautner is going on the walk to raise money for cerebral palsy research. Matt Small, The Associated Press, with AP News Minute.
And in state news, according to the Associated Press, Texas lawmakers are considering proposals to assist victims of sexual assault. State Senator John Whitmire is chairman of the Senate Criminal Justice Committee. Whitmire gave support for the legislation that insists on hospitals giving heightened treatment to victims and preserving more evidence from each case. The U.S. Justice Department said that about 2 out of every 3 sexual assaults go unreported, and that reporting doesn't always result in a prosecution. About 20,000 Texas cases have been frozen due to untested evidence kits. State Senator Wendy Davis said her bill would make the state track assistance given by hospitals. David has already won approval from the committee on another bill that will address evidence collection. In campus news, this week at Tarleton is Spring Diversity Week, sponsored by the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Some of this week's programs include lectures, question and answer sessions, and other type of activities. Some topics to be covered range from finances in college, biodiversity in agriculture, religion, and societal issues. These will be presented this week to promote diversity on campus. Dr. Laura Helvey Mason, director of the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, said one of the purposes of this week's events is to encourage people to think about diversity in different ways. Texan News Service was at yesterday's session about political diversity, featuring panelists Dr. Charles Howard, Department Head of the Communication Studies, the Director of Student Success, Brenda Faulkner, and Judd Leach from the Tarleton Business Department.
So be critical thinkers, and don't be afraid to change your mind. That's the thing, people. My dad always said this, who cares? You're in college to learn. You're here to learn for the sake of learning. Challenge your assumptions. Challenge your political assumptions. Challenge your religious assumptions. Challenge everything. You walk away, you either changed or you didn't change. It doesn't matter. In either case, you've gone through that rigorous process.
Find issues you're interested in. Environment, same-sex marriage, poverty, whatever is your interest, and just start looking up. Who do I go to? Quit thinking about how do I get involved in politics and start thinking about how do I solve problems.
The event is also partnering with the Tarleton Professional Educators for a book drive to help needed children. To learn more, visit www.tarleton.edu/diversity and stop by the table presentations in the Thompson Student Center lobby. In regional news, according to the Glen Rose Reporter, the Glen Rose High School class of 2013 is gearing up for project graduation, a party to commemorate the school year. The annual spaghetti supper and auction are the only fundraisers for the event, and individuals, businesses, and the community also chip in to help each year. Among many of the auction items is the senior quilt, which has been known to bring as much as $4,000 in recent years. For 3 decades now, local quilters have been donating their time to make senior quilts for the graduating classes. The quilters send out surveys to the senior students asking for ideas and designs for their quilt. Alice Lance, who has been a volunteer for the quilt projects since 2009, says that this is the first time they have had every student photographer and signature on the photo quilt. The quilts will be up for bid and display at the spaghetti dinner and auction Monday, April 29th. Supper will be held from 4 to 7 p.m. The silent auction will start at 3:30 and end at 6:30, and the live auction will start around 7 p.m. If you would like to donate items to the auction, please contact Glen Rose Junior High School Association Principal Jeff Harris at 254-898-3702. Also, in regional news, Sheriff Tommy Bryant of Erath County says he is hiring a HIT team, which stands for High Intensity Traffic, to help Sheriff's Department patrol the roads going to and from the Larry Joe Taylor Music Festival this week. Also, he has started a new precautionary step that he feels will help the safety of attendees. No bottles are allowed to enter the grounds, and anyone throwing anything at the festival will be immediately be escorted from the premises. Brian advises anyone under 21 to be careful and to not ruin a college career or a career after this because of this event. The 25th anniversary Larry Joe Taylor Festival is going on this week from the 23rd through the 28th at the Melody Mountain Ranch. According to the Larry Joe Taylor Festival website, there was an official attendance of 50,000 people last year. In sports news, Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat are halfway to advancing in the NBA playoffs after topping the Milwaukee Bucks 96-86 on Tuesday night to take a 2-0 lead in the team's Eastern Conference first-round series. Wade scored 21 points, LeBron James finished with 19, and the Heat opened the fourth quarter on a 12-0 run to pull away. Game 3 will take place in Milwaukee on Thursday night, where the Heat will have a chance to take even more control of the matchup. Wade says he is certain that nothing will come easily, not even for the defending NBA champions. According to the Weather Channel, today's weather calls for clear skies and a low of 37 with a high of 61. Today's broadcast was produced by Ian Traub, Alyssa Wynn, Rachel Peoples, Adarius Pegues, Kelly Rumsey, and Laura Jokel. You can follow the Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter and check out our website at www.texannews.net. I am Kate Murphy. Tune in tomorrow for the latest news from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas.